Imagine yourself on a long journey, stopping briefly in a small town just to rest before continuing toward your real destination. You wouldn't build a mansion there, decorate it endlessly, or invest your heart into that temporary stop because you know it's not home. That's exactly how our life in this world is meant to be. We are travelers passing through. The world is not our final stop. It's a station on the way to the hereafter. But sometimes we forget this simple truth. We get so caught up in the comforts, possessions, and distractions of life that we start believing this is everything, that success, wealth, and fame define our worth. Yet, when we pause and reflect, we realize how quickly time passes. Days turn into years, and before we know it, our journey here ends. Think about how we travel. When we're on a journey, we stay focused. We don't settle permanently in every city we pass. We don't carry unnecessary weight because it slows us down. The Prophet Muhammad beautifully said, "Be in this world as though you were a stranger or a traveler passing through." This means we live with awareness, we appreciate what's around us, we use what we need, but we don't let it define us. A traveler doesn't cry over a broken suitcase or an uncomfortable seat because he knows it's temporary. Likewise, when things go wrong in life, when we face losses, pain, or delays, we must remind ourselves this too shall pass. Our goal is not comfort, it's completion, reaching the destination with our faith and character intact. When you live like a traveler, your perspective changes completely. You start valuing time more than money, deeds more than decoration, peace more than possessions. You begin to see that every sunrise is a new chance to move forward, not to settle. You learn to enjoy the journey without losing sight of the destination. You realize that the home, the car, the success, they're all part of the trip, not the end of it. Mufti Ismail Menk often reminds us that nothing in this world truly belongs to us, not our wealth, not our achievements, not even the people we love. Everything we have is a trust given to us for a short time to test how we use it. So if we live like travelers, we hold things lightly. We take care of what we're given, but stay ready to let go when the journey calls us forward. That's real wisdom. To enjoy what you have without being owned by it. Travelers also stay mindful of their map. They know where they came from and where they're heading. In the same way, we must constantly remind ourselves of our purpose, that we came from Allah and to Him we will return. This awareness doesn't make life dull, it makes it meaningful. It gives direction to our choices, strength in hardship, and humility in success. Because once you see life as a journey, you stop comparing your path to others. You walk at your pace, grateful for every step. So as we pass through this world, let's not lose ourselves in what is temporary. Let's fill our days with acts that matter. Kindness, patience, prayer, gratitude. Things that travel with us beyond the grave. Like a traveler who leaves behind beautiful footprints, let's leave behind goodness wherever we go. Because one day, this journey will end, and when it does, may we reach our true home with peace in our hearts and light in our record. And that is why we must always remember, we are not here to stay. We are here to pass through with purpose. When a traveler sets out on a journey, the first thing he does is decide what to carry. He knows that if he packs too much, his bag will become heavy, his steps will slow, and he'll tire before reaching his destination. In the same way, our journey through life becomes harder when we fill it with unnecessary burdens, greed, pride, jealousy, and the endless chase for things that don't last. We hold on tightly to possessions, grudges, and worries as if they will give us strength, but they only weigh down the heart. The wise traveler chooses carefully. He carries what will help him move forward: faith, patience, and trust, and leaves behind what holds him back. The Prophet Muhammad guided us to travel light in this world by focusing on what truly benefits the soul. If we think about it, most of our stress and sadness come from wanting too much, comparing too much, and complaining too much. We want the newest things, the best status, the most attention. But all these things, no matter how shiny, fade with time. When we travel light, we realize we don't need everything we desire. We only need what brings us closer to Allah and brings peace to our hearts. Mufti Ismail Menk often says, simplify your life and you will find peace. That means letting go. Letting go of the obsession with wealth, the grudges we carry, and the fears we keep replaying in our minds. Every burden we drop makes the journey easier. Forgiving someone is like taking off a heavy backpack. Suddenly, your steps become lighter. Being content with what you have is like walking freely without chains. Gratitude becomes your compass, guiding you toward joy no matter where life takes you. When you travel light, you start noticing the beauty of the journey itself. You have time to smile, to help others, to reflect. You are not constantly running after the next thing because you know the world cannot satisfy the soul. You also stop worrying so much about what people think because your focus is on the one who truly matters. Just like a traveler who moves confidently toward his destination, you move through life with clarity and calmness. This doesn't mean we must give up everything or live without ambition. It means we must carry things with purpose, use wealth for good, seek success with humility, and love without attachment. Everything we own should serve us, not control us. The more we detach from what is temporary, the closer we become to what is eternal. So, as we continue our journey through this short life, let us pack wisely. Let us fill our hearts with sincerity, our hands with good deeds, and our minds with gratitude. Let us leave behind jealousy, pride, and the endless chase for more. Because at the end of the journey, when we finally stand before our Creator, it won't be the weight of our possessions that matters. It will be the lightness of our hearts. When a traveler moves from one place to another, people remember him not for what he carried, but for how he behaved along the way. The same is true for us in this life. We will not be remembered for our wealth, our position, or our comfort, but for our character. Living in this world like a traveler means realizing that good manners, kindness, and sincerity are far more valuable than any material gain. A traveler knows that the road can be rough, but it is his attitude that makes the journey beautiful. In the same way, our character shapes not only our experience of life, but also the way others experience us. Building good character is not about perfection. It's about intention and consistency. It means choosing honesty when lying seems easier, choosing patience when anger rises, and choosing forgiveness when pride wants revenge. These are not small things. They are the milestones of a traveler's journey toward Allah. Mufti Ismail Menk often reminds us that good character is a form of worship. Smiling at someone, speaking gently, helping others, and respecting those around us. All these acts are part of a believer's travel bag. When we meet people with warmth and sincerity, we spread light in their path, and that light eventually guides us too. But today, many of us focus more on building comfort than character. We work hard to decorate our homes, but neglect to polish our hearts. We seek respect from others, but forget that true respect comes from how we treat them. Our Prophet Muhammad was loved not for wealth or status, but for his beautiful manners. He taught us that the best among us are those with the best character. When we live like travelers, we understand that every interaction is temporary, yet every word and action can leave a lasting impression. So we choose to speak gently even when others don't. We choose to walk humbly even when success tempts us to boast. We choose to give even when we have little. Good character also means treating people the way we would hope to be treated on our own journey. Life brings us across people from different paths, some kind, some difficult, some in pain, and our test is how we respond. Do we lift them up or push them down? A true traveler shares his food, gives directions, and offers help even when he is tired himself. Likewise, a believer's character shines most during hardship. When the road gets tough, patience and gratitude become our companions. When we focus on building character instead of comfort, we find peace that no luxury can buy. A soft heart, a forgiving spirit, and a grateful soul make the journey lighter and more meaningful. Every moment becomes an opportunity to do good, to earn reward, and to make the world a little better than we found it. And when our journey finally ends, it is not our possessions that will speak for us, but the kindness, humility, and honesty we carried along the way. So, as we continue traveling through this world, let us remember, comfort fades, but character remains. Every traveler knows the importance of being prepared. Before setting out on a journey, he checks his documents, packs his essentials, and makes sure he knows his route. Without preparation, even a short trip can become confusing or dangerous. In the same way, our journey through this world requires preparation, not for a destination we can see, but for the eternal life that awaits after death. Living in this world like a traveler means keeping our spiritual passport ready at all times. We never know when the journey will end, so we must make sure our faith, our prayers, and our deeds are always in order. Spiritual preparation begins with awareness. Too often we get so busy with worldly plans, studies, careers, relationships, dreams, that we forget the most certain event of all, returning to our Creator. This forgetfulness makes us careless with our time and actions. But a wise traveler keeps his goal in mind every day. He checks his direction often, just as we should reflect on our hearts and intentions. Am I praying sincerely? Am I living honestly? Am I seeking Allah's pleasure or just the world's approval? These small questions are like checkpoints on our spiritual journey. Mufti Ismail Menk often reminds us that spiritual readiness is not about fear, it's about peace. When we keep our connection with Allah strong through prayer, remembrance, and repentance, our hearts remain calm even in hardship. We know that every challenge is part of the journey, and that Allah never abandons His travelers. Preparing spiritually also means keeping our hearts clean, forgiving those who hurt us, asking forgiveness from those we wronged, and making peace with ourselves. Carrying grudges or guilt is like traveling with heavy bags. They slow us down and distract us from the destination. The traveler who is well prepared also keeps his focus. He doesn't stop too long at distractions because he knows where he's heading. Similarly, when our faith is strong, the temptations of this world lose their power over us. Wealth, fame, and pleasure may appear beautiful, but we see them for what they are, temporary stops on a much longer road. Instead of chasing them endlessly, we use them wisely, thanking Allah for what He gives and trusting Him for what He withholds. And when the road becomes difficult, when we face loss, pain, or uncertainty, our preparation becomes our strength. A traveler trusts the map even when he cannot see the destination. In the same way, a believer trusts Allah even when life feels uncertain. Prayer becomes our shelter, Quran our guide, and gratitude our fuel. We remind ourselves that every step, even the painful ones, brings us closer to home. So, as we journey through this world, let us keep our hearts in a state of readiness. Let our daily prayers, our honesty, our patience, and our kindness be the essentials we carry. Because when the time comes to end this journey, only those who prepared well will find peace in meeting their Lord. When we travel, one of the most comforting sights is meeting a kind stranger. Someone who smiles, offers help, or simply points us in the right direction. That small act can change the entire experience of a journey. In life, we are all travelers, walking different paths, but heading toward the same destination. Along the way, we meet people who are struggling, lost, or weary. Helping them, even in small ways, becomes part of our own preparation for the hereafter. Living in this world like a traveler means realizing that the journey is not just about reaching safely ourselves, but about helping others reach safely too. Every kind word, every bit of guidance, every act of generosity is like sharing provisions with a fellow traveler. When you share your food or water on a long road, it doesn't reduce yours. It multiplies your blessings. The same goes for kindness and compassion. Mufti Ismail Menk often says, when you help others, you are helping yourself. Because every good deed we do for others comes back to us in ways we may never expect. It softens our hearts, earns Allah's pleasure, and fills our journey with light. Unfortunately, in today's fast-paced world, people are often too busy with their own plans to notice others. We walk past those in need, scroll past pain, and assume someone else will help. But a traveler with faith cannot ignore another traveler who has fallen behind. Whether it's offering emotional support, giving charity, or simply praying for someone, every effort counts. Even a smile can ease a heart burdened by sorrow. The Prophet Muhammad taught us that the best people are those who are most beneficial to others. That means our success in this world is not measured by how much we gain, but by how much good we leave behind. Helping others also reminds us of our shared humanity. On this road of life, no one travels alone. We all have moments when we stumble, when we are lost, or when the path feels too heavy. In those moments, the kindness of others becomes a blessing from Allah. And when we are the ones offering that kindness, we become part of someone else's prayer, someone else's gratitude. What greater honor can there be? Sometimes helping others doesn't require wealth or power. It just requires heart. Listening to someone who feels unheard, encouraging a friend who feels hopeless, forgiving someone who wronged us. These are all ways to make the journey easier for others. And when we make it easier for someone else, Allah makes it easier for us. So as we walk through this temporary world, let's remember to look around, not just ahead. Let's carry compassion in our bags and kindness in our steps. Because the true beauty of this journey is not just in reaching the destination, but in making the road brighter for those who travel beside us. Every traveler begins his journey with a destination in mind. He knows where he's heading, and that knowledge gives meaning to every step he takes. Without that destination, he would wander aimlessly, wasting time and energy. In the same way, we as human beings must remember our destination, the hereafter. We are not here just to live, earn, and die. We are here to prepare for what comes after. When we forget our destination, we get lost in the noise of the world. We begin to chase things that don't last and neglect the things that truly matter. But when we remember where we are heading, back to Allah, life becomes clear, focused, and peaceful. Remembering the hereafter doesn't mean living with fear. It means living with purpose. It changes how we think, how we speak, and how we act. We start to ask ourselves, will this choice bring me closer to my destination or take me further away? That simple question becomes a compass for our daily life. Mufti Ismail Menk often reminds us that when our heart is attached to the hereafter, we find contentment in the present. The small frustrations of life, delays, losses, disappointments, no longer break us because we know they are part of the test. Just as a traveler doesn't get angry when the road becomes rough, a believer stays patient, knowing that every difficulty is leading him closer to home. When we keep our destination in mind, we begin to live more meaningfully. We spend our time wisely, use our words carefully, and treat people kindly. We stop wasting energy on hatred, jealousy, and competition because we realize that none of it will matter when the journey ends. Instead, we focus on earning rewards that last forever. Prayers, charity, forgiveness, and good deeds done purely for Allah's sake. This awareness fills our hearts with gratitude and humility. We stop complaining about what we don't have and start thanking Allah for what we do. Life becomes easier to understand when we see it through this lens. Every joy reminds us of Allah's mercy, and every hardship reminds us of His wisdom. We realize that nothing in this world is permanent. Not success, not pain, not even life itself. Everything is moving toward its end, and that end is not destruction, but return. A return to the one who created us, sustained us, and waited patiently for us to come back. So, as travelers in this world, let us walk with awareness. Let us enjoy the blessings of the journey, but never forget the final stop. Let us live with hearts focused on the hereafter, doing good wherever we go and leaving behind kindness as our footprint. Because when the journey ends and we finally stand before our Creator, the greatest success will be to hear the words, "We've been traveling for all along, enter in peace." This is your eternal home.